Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome you all to the launch of the very first edition of JM Financial Hurun Unlisted Gems 2026. India has been building one of the largest uh, private corporate economies in the world, and and we hear about it, but today we're trying to take an attempt at measuring how we are doing that. But through the various lists that Hurun do and various reports that we publish, we talk about what is visible. For example, things like India has become one of the top IPO markets by funds raised and number of listings. We all know that India is the largest, one of the fastest growing major economy in the world. But behind this listed markets, another economy has been scaling quietly. And today is all about that. Today is the launch of the very first edition of JM Financial Hurun India Unlisted Gems 2026. To arrive at this list, we followed this methodology, which is the companies featured in the list should have generated a revenue of INR 1,000 crores. They should have registered a 3-year positive CAGR in terms of revenue. And over 3 years, they should have shown an improvement in the EBITDA margin. And these companies should not have filed the RHP. And as per our limited best knowledge, they should not have registered any negative views. So what do we find? The first one, the cumulative valuation of all the businesses featured in the JM Financial Hurun India Unlisted Gems 2026 is rupees 28.5 lakh crores. That's almost more than the GDP of Finland. And what are the other data points that has come out of the list? The top 100 in the list, they have generated a cumulated revenue of almost rupees 9 lakh crores. They have all, on average, showed a revenue growth of 15% over 3 years. They cumulatively have registered an EBITDA of rupees 1 lakh crores. The net profits of all these companies have grown by almost 180% in the last 2 years. And they've employed 1.2 million employees, and they've paid almost 18,000 crore rupees in direct taxes. The average age of the companies featured in the JM Financial Hurun India Unlisted Gems 2026 is 34 years. The oldest in the list is Bennett Coleman, and the youngest one is counted 2021. Half of the list are family-led and other half is professionally managed. So you can see the diversity of the list here. The top sector in the JM Financial Hurun India Unlisted Gems 2026 is consumer companies. You have companies like Malabar Gold, Haldiram's, and so on. The number one state number one state that's contributed most number of entrants in the list is Maharashtra with 27 entries, followed by Karnataka with 70. Another interesting aspect that we found about this list is almost 23% of the list comes from Tier 2 and Tier 3 India. Rupert and I are having a debate about this earlier. It doesn't assume cities beyond Mumbai, Delhi, and Bangalore as Tier 2 and as Tier 1. So even if you have to go by what Rupert's saying, let's say the number of entrants beyond the Mumbai, Bangalore, Delhi belt, that number is about 58. So almost 60% of the list come outside of the top 3 cities in India. We also try to do a bit of a benchmark of the JM Financial Hurun India Unlisted Gems 2026 with the Nifty 50. The 3-year revenue CAGR, as I mentioned, of this list is about 20%. The median revenue CAGR. The Nifty 50 is about 9 to 11%. The revenue growth is about 12%. Nifty 50 is about 4.5 to 7%. The ROC is about 18%. Nifty 50 is about 10 to 15%. So quite high-performing, good quality companies in the list. And this is something which we found was very special and interesting about the JM Financial Hurun India Unlisted Gems. Almost 30% of the companies in the list are led by women. That's highest compared to any other list that Hurun has got. That kind of women representation in terms of leadership roles. And if you look at the number of women in the board of these companies, 56%, almost 60% of the companies in the list have at least a woman member of the board. So that clearly shows these companies, more and more women participation is there. And it kind of shows how India would progress in terms of how the business would be built. The 63 from the list already featured in the Hurun Rich list. 18 appears in the top 200 self-care entrepreneurs list that's launched by Hurun. So we do hope to believe that the JM Financial Hurun India Unlisted Gems would sort of become a benchmark of private not so spoken about companies in India in the coming future. And as the name suggests, we talk about gems today, right? And the diamonds are formed under pressure. I really want to talk about our partners, JM Financial, in this context. The JM Financial began the journey almost 50 years ago. Uh, in my lifetime, the last 13, 14 years in India, I witnessed demonetization. I witnessed COVID. What a few interesting things in the last 14 years to build our business in India. But an institution like JM Financial has witnessed regulatory transformations, dot-com cycles, global financial crisis, 91 reforms, so much of experience, and literally have seen how India's economy was built over the last 50 years. I mean, that's a lot of experience, and that gives a lot of context and meaning for Hurun to partner with JM Financial to come up with a list like this. And I'm deeply grateful to JM Financial team, Vishal, and everyone here to help us in, with support in coming up with this list. So 28.5 lakh crores, 100 companies, 1.2 million jobs. And that's the story of JM Financial, Hurun India, Unlisted Gems 2026. I look forward to hearing your thoughts and feedback, and look forward to interacting with you later in the press conference. Thank you very much.